So now let's move on to how to track like their engagement. So you can go on to flanks.com and you go to this platform and then go to engagement calculator and Instagram engagement calculator and then go ahead and type. So let's use the same account. Okay, so they've got 395,000 followers and their engagement is there. Oh, it's because they're private, so that's why it's not tracking. Okay, let's go to a public page. Let's use that same okay, they have a 0.4%. Most people are gonna think this is very little engagement, but this is actually a lot for the number of followers they have, because they've got almost practically 14 million followers. So 0.4 is actually a very high percentage. So I'm gonna kind of go over some brief guidelines on the engagement. So if they're under 100,000 followers, you want around 5% engagement rate. If they're between 100,000 to 500,000, then you want about 2 or 3% engagement rate. If they're above 1 million followers, you want 1% engagement rate, around there. And as they go higher, you know they're going to be below 1% engagement rate, just because of the mere fact that their page is so big. So you want to kind of follow those guidelines. Let's just go over some few examples. Let's start finding some pages. Let's find a pet page right here. Okay, let's see what their engagement is like. And search. So they've got a 7.32 engagement rate, which is really high, and they've got about 201,000 followers. So engagement is solid. Now let's look at if their comments are real. So I go over this in another video, but you can see that these are all real comments. Let's check out this person. Okay, so this is a girl. She's above 18 years old. It looks like she's in an English-speaking country. So you know that these are real people. They're tagging their friends. The engagement is real. They're not faking their engagement. And I'll try to go to a page later on to show you, what fake engagement looks like. And I'm sure we've all seen it, right? Fake engagement looks like when they say on the comments like awesome, great post, beautiful, things like that. Sometimes they might have a long paragraph as well. So this is a good page. And look, you can see that this page is running ads, right? This is an ad right here. I'm not sure if this ad did that well, in my opinion. There's only 24 comments, 7,000 views. And for a page like this, I would probably guess that a good ad would probably run 30,000 views with 100 comments. Their normal videos get about 70K, let's say, on average views. Maybe even 100K, right? So if you can get about maybe 10 to 30% of their normal engagement, just by nature of it, you're going to receive a lot less engagement with ads. It's just, people don't like seeing ads. 7,000 is just so little. So in my opinion, this ad didn't perform well, because there's only two sides to the coin in Instagram, right? It's only the page and the product, right? And we've already established that this page is good. So then we can eliminate that the page is good, therefore we know that the product probably sucks. It's just from experience, and that's just my feeling. I'm just telling you my feelings when I see an ad like this. And look, they still have the myshopify.com. They didn't even take the time to buy a domain, which means, it's kind of silly. Let's look at their store really quick. So they didn't even take the time to buy a domain. This is a little bit amateurish. This looks really, this red on purple just looks terrible. So, and they only have home products. This just doesn't look like a good website right here. It seems like they spent an hour to make this store. So let's find a page that's not good. Okay, let's look at this page. Actually, this page is pretty good. You can see these are real comments, but let's just look at their engagement rate. Travels. Okay, they've got a 1.54 engagement rate. They're almost at 1 million followers here. They've got 785,000. So they're pretty on par. Their engagement looks real. Travel photos tend to have a lot of generic comments. And so it's really hard to gauge whether or not they're real or not. You know, like this looks pretty fake right here, these comments. So they're hard to gauge. The only way you can really know for sure is if you test, but I would like to have more comments based on their size. For a page that has 785,000 followers, you know, I would want that page to have consistently way over 100 comments. Yeah, this is a decent page. I would test it out. If the price is good, I would definitely pay for the shout out. Let's find a really bad page. Okay, yeah, so these are all fake comments right here. And I bet their engagement rate. Actually, they probably souped up their engagement rate, so they might be. So that's why you always want to check on 3 levels, or as much as you can. So, because their engagement rate is probably going to be high based on flanks. Yeah, it says they've got a 37.33 engagement rate. And normally you don't see this kind of engagement rate on pages. You might see it on real influencers, like real people. Let's say, for example, they pass the test. So they don't have fake followers, they have high engagement rate, and then you want to go in and check if they're real, engaged, and you know, if they're tagging their friends or what they're saying about the post. So that's why you want to check all 3 things when you're analyzing pages. So this is not a good page. So I want to recap. So basically you want to use Social Blade to check whether they have real followers. You want to use flanks to check the percentage, like how good their engagement is, like if they're getting a lot of likes and comments. And then you want to go in here to their actual posts and just click on a bunch of them to see whether their engagement is real, if they're real people. And you want to check if they have like, you know, a good number of views, if they have a good number of comments. The reason why we check engagement is because the more engagement that are real, that a page consistently has, the more likely that you're going to get buyers from that page, from that shout out, because you know they're actively engaging with their content. That's why I wanted to go over. Go through the next couple of videos and you'll be able to get a good gauge on, you know, how to find really solid pages.